We're here with Penn State meteorology professor and atmospheric chemistry researcher Ann Thompson, who is the 2012 recipient of the Verner E. Suomi Award for exceptional vision and leadership in deploying technologies that have significantly advanced the understanding of ozone dynamics in the atmosphere. Tell us a little about your research accomplishments and how they relate to ongoing challenges with atmospheric chemistry and ozone studies.
Well, what I've been doing in the last dozen years, which has been the culmination of some modeling work and some different field campaigns up to that time, has been organizing teams of people to launch weather balloons with ozone sensors on them. We call them ozone sondes. And I was working at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in the ozone group when we started this. And the initial motivation is ground truth in undersampled parts of the world for satellites. And that region specifically was the tropics. So we've learned a lot about pollution because ozone, once it gets above a kilometer or two, hangs around for several weeks and it can travel from continent to continent. We also get exactly the opposite. We find in regions, say over the tropical Pacific, that are very clean and convectively active, we get exactly the opposite. So we've learned about chemistry, we've learned about dynamics in this region. And the other thing that's interesting is you get very high resolution. You put up a balloon, you get a measurement every second or two, basically a few tens of meters resolution, whereas with a satellite, although you can look everywhere all the time, you don't get that vertical resolution. And in ozone world, one of the areas that's most sensitive and most critical is near the tropopause. That's where ozone and temperature interact with one another. Changes in ozone at the poles, southern hemispheric depletion, can affect ozone way beyond that. And so we actually have now 14 years of data from the SHADOWS network. As I said, started out simple satellite validation, process studies, modelers love it. They have 5,000 profiles to evaluate their model with. But we're also now learning something about climate.
With an aggressive interest in promoting field campaigns that deliver substantial observations with state-of-the-art technology, what has you most excited for the future?
Well, what is really exciting, besides the science that I've just described to you, is that this network and some of the others that I've put together, I'll mention a few of those. We've been doing some on a campaign basis, like for 6 weeks, intensive measurements. Instead of globally, say, a dozen stations launching once a week, a balloon is going up every day for 6 weeks on a smaller area. We've been doing that on campaigns over North America. But in all of these, one of the things that's so unique is that they're international. So we are leveraging resources, principally support from NASA and NOAA in the US, to partner with meteorological agencies in places like Malaysia, Space Agency in Indonesia, South African and Kenyan Weather Service. Beyond this, we also have partners that help sponsor some of these organizations from Japan, from the Netherlands, from Switzerland. So it's big answers, it's global, but it's very grassroots in involving science, supporting science, keeping long-term observations going, and training young people.
Sounds great. Well, then that leads me to ask you, if you had an opportunity to, what, if anything, might you like to do differently along your career journey?
Oh gosh, it's been so exciting and so much fun, and we've had so much good science with so many good people. I can't think of anything that could be better. I feel very, very fortunate.
When you first learned you were going to receive the Suomi medallion, what was your reaction?
Well, I was really surprised, especially because the president of AMS is Jonathan Millay. I hadn't met him. We'd had email. We were going to talk about AGU, AMS, business, because right now I'm serving as the Atmospheric Sciences President for the American Geophysical Union. So it just took me totally by surprise.
All right. What would you say to colleagues as well as to recent graduates in the atmospheric and related sciences about the merit of such achievement?
Well, I have to acknowledge that, and I think other Suomi awards are often of this type. It's data or sets of observations or technology, and we're often doing this by engaging other people. So I think as well as we need the data over long periods of time. Sometimes we need it shorter periods of time and in very intense regions when we want to figure out a mechanism. The important thing is also that this achievement is shared with incredibly loyal and helpful sponsors, and then all of these people around the world who are committed to collecting the data.
Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with us, and congratulations again.
Thank you.